Hello, spooky crew. Our tote bag drawing is officially closed, and we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who entered. We are so grateful for the love and the support, and we have loved reading your reviews. Missed the tote? No worries. We're still sending out high-quality vinyl stickers while supplies last. Just email us proof of your rating and review along with your mailing address to thespookydarlings@gmail.com, and we'll get one headed your way. Quick promise, your address is only for mailing the sticker. No emails, no selling info, no funny business, just spooky gratitude. Thanks again for supporting the show. You are the reason we do this. Thanks for tuning in to this Spooky Darlings bonus episode, our second installment of the Cryptid Crawl. Bundle up, because today we're heading to Alaska to meet the creepy, hairless Keelut, the shape-shifting Kushtaka, and the sometimes helpful, sometimes not little people, the Ircenrraat. The Spooky Darlings bring you Cryptid Crawl, Alaska. Enjoy. Well, thank you for listening. Today we are doing cryptids from the state of Alaska. And who would like to go first?
Okay. I'm Breezy.
You are Breezy. You're just like Monica.
I'll go first.
All right, Haley's going to go first with the Kushtaka.
So I was assigned, thank you, Nettie, for this assignment because it was fun to research. Kushtaka, it's spelled Kushtaka, but you pronounce it Kushtaka, and it is land otter man. So just looking into Alaska and a lot of the posts I watched and read about it, it said that 1 in 200 people go missing in Alaska every year. And I don't know if that's exact math, but Alaska has double the numbers of missing people per year than the rest of the US.
Ooh.
So
Do you think that some of that is people going off the grid? Because you always hear about people moving to Alaska to just like
get off the grid,
escape their criminal history or
yeah.
Or just, like completely live away from civilization.
Yeah,
You know,
I would bet that is part of it.
There are places right around these here parts where you can go live off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Ahem. Sammyville.
Uh-huh. We should do a Sammyville episode and then talk about the movie you made.
I did not make a movie.
The movie that you were involved in.
I was not in it.
The movie you were involved in.
Nor was I involved in Sammyville. I was involved in the movie that was made by the same people after they did Sammyville.
Oh.
Called Dog Story. I'll talk about that later.
So there are a couple different versions of the Kushtaka all over Alaska. But the main one that is talked about is the shapeshifter, half man, half otter. And then as I was reading through Reddit, and you know how respectful Reddit can be, there were a couple of posts that were like, hey, idiot, it's just northern Sasquatch. It's not half man, half otter. Which always makes me chuckle when people get so hysterical. And so there are accounts of the Kushtaka being very cruel and leading native sailors to their death, or saving the individual but transforming them into a Kushtaka as well. But they are now half man, half otter. And it is also in the legend that you cannot reincarnate if you are transformed into a Kushtaka. So it's seen as a mixed blessing.
Wait, so you're immortal, but you're stuck in that life if you were transformed into a Kushtaka.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
I'd rather reincarnate.
yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it feels to be half otter.
Maybe it's great. You get to swim a lot. So they will mimic the cries of a baby or a screaming woman, and that is to lure their victims to the river. Once they have lured their victim to them, they are either killed and torn to shreds, or they are turned into the Kushtaka, like I just mentioned.
Kind of like a vampire. Mm-hmm. Very vampiric.
Yeah. It is said that the cryptid can be kept away with copper, urine, dogs, or fire. And so that is one of the reasons why a lot of people own dogs up in Alaska. Also, like specifically like huskies or the Iditarod dogs, which are huskies, I believe.
Yeah, or like Malamutes.
Malamutes, yep. And
I like to call them sled dogs.
Sled dogs. So the Kushtaka, you know that they are near because they will emit a high-pitched whistle. It goes low, high, then low. So like, ooh, kind of a thing. And
Ooh.
the legend has been used to keep kids from wandering too far, as we know with a lot of like legends and like La Llorona. It's to keep people away from the river, like especially at night. Um,
A lot of good that
so
does. Like, I don't know. Seems like it would just
Make people want to go check her out.
don't go by the river. Oh, just really want to go by the river.
I just love when women cry hysterically. So the Kushtaka stories go back thousands of years, and the Kushtaka live between water and land. So anything near water, like that is Kushtaka territory. And there's this a more recent story from a woman, Diana Lynn Tucker, and she was on this brief like documentary that I guess you could say like a mini documentary. It was about 10 minutes long. And so the summer in July, she and her family like finally had enough money to go and spend the summer up in Alaska. That had been their goal for many years. And so they had friends there, and she and her friend go on a walk and they get separated. But, it's not a big deal. Diana is just really enjoying the scenery and the forest and just kind of going deeper and deeper into the woods. And she gets to this spot where she can hear water, and then the woods go silent. And you know that like type of silence that's like really scary? An eerie silence. Thank you. I needed you, Thesaurus Emily, and you helped me. You were there.
I pulled through.
She is suddenly swarmed by crows, and then as she like is kind of getting out of this like murder of crows that has surrounded her, she sees the Kushtaka, and it suddenly transforms into one of the crows and attacks her. And from childhood, she didn't say what movie it was, but I think it was The Birds. She has been terrified of specifically crows. And so it is also said that the Kushtaka can sense your deepest fear and use it against you. So Diana runs, and she gets out of this weird zone she was in, and she finds her friend. She's telling her friend what happened. And as they're walking back home, they run into a Native Alaskan woman. And the woman looks at Diana, and she's very has this look of fear on her face, and she asks Diana if she encountered the Kushtaka. And Diana tells her the story of what just happened. And the Native Alaskan woman says, you have a strong soul, and you have a bigger purpose in this life, and that is the only thing that kept you alive. Ooh. And Diana still has scars from the encounter.
How did she and her friend get separated?
Maybe they just chose different trails or something like that. She didn't really say. Just suddenly her friend wasn't there, and she was alone, and the woods just went to that eerie silence.
Did she find her friend?
Yeah, I said she found her friend once.
Oh, her friend was the Native Alaskan woman?
No.
Oh, never mind. Sorry,
After the encounter with the crows, she runs away. She then finds her friend. They then run into the Native Alaskan woman.
I skipped in my head the part where she found her friend and went right to the Native Alaskan woman. Wow. But her friend didn't run into the Kushtaka.
No.
Her friend was like, no, I just had a most glorious walk.
And
the sun is shining and
yeah.
Nature.
So if you hear that low, high, low whistle, stay away. And, beware of the Kushtaka.
Beware.
I'm reading this book right now called Never Whistle at Night, which is like a collection of, it's fiction stories, but it's all written by native peoples of various indigenous groups in the Americas, I think. But the very first story in the book was called Kushtaka. And I read this when I was in Mexico, and I was sort of like, wait, this sounds familiar. And then I realized it was taking place in Alaska. And then I realized it was the one that Haley was doing. But it was from the point of view of this girl who was basically hired to come cook and clean and serve food to this white man in the village that spent most of his time in the lower 50, but then would come up to Alaska and bring his buddies up to hunt.
Oh my gosh.
And when she gets there, she sees her grandfather's spear on the wall and this old hunting knife that belonged to her family. And she asked the man about it, and he's like, well, I bought those. And she realized that he didn't buy them. They were her family's heirlooms. And these things happen in the night that make her increasingly angry. But as they were traveling there, they were in a truck, and they almost ran over a creature. And they did actually hit the creature, and the creature like tumbled over the top of the bed of the truck, or the hood of the truck, and ended up in the bed of the truck. She realizes later, she keeps seeing it out of the corner of her eye. But every time she sees it, the creature looks more and more like her. So she's actually seeing what looks like her. And at some point during the party, when she like sees the spear, she suddenly hears, she's in the kitchen or in the bathroom or something, and she hears all of the men start screaming, and they're basically being torn apart by this creature that they had hit and then gotten in the back of her car. But the men keep like calling out her name. So it basically shape shifted into her. And it, like Haley said, it turns into your worst fear, or it also said in this that it turns into the object you desire most. And that man like was really into her, like was trying to kind of start a relationship with her.
Ew.
It was totally gross. But then
was she a girl child or a girl woman?
She was like a girl teenager, like 17 or 18.
Okay, yeah.
Totally inappropriate. And then she gets the sled dogs. She can't take the truck home because she can't find the keys. So she gets the sled dogs, and
Kushtaka are scared of dogs.
She gets the sled dogs. Ooh. And she sees, I mean, this is fiction. Like it's definitely a fiction story. The Kushtaka creature, which was basically like a version of her, like a more terrifying version of her, almost caught up to her. And then she sat there and observed like the dogs kind of like attack the version of her. Whoa. And then another boy comes up, like the boy she actually liked, that's part of her indigenous group, that came up to her, and he didn't see what she saw. Like he didn't see that it was her. But at the very end of it, like all of the wounds that the Kushtaka would have had, she found on her body. Whoa. Like all of the defensive wounds she ended up finding on her body. So it was this kind of crazy story about, was she the Kushtaka? Was the Kushtaka her? Like it took on her appearance. It was a really good story.
Oh, speaking of the scars, this woman Diana still has scars from her encounter with the Kushtaka. Took the form of a crow.
So scary.
Wow, scary. Nettie, do you want to go next, or do you want me to?
Either way.
I am talking about the Ircenrraat, which I'm not sure that's the correct pronunciation. I found one pronunciation guide that said Ircenrraat.
Okay.
But it's spelled Ircenrraat, or there's another name for it in Alaska that's Enokins. But
if this helps at all, the T's were often pronounced as K's in a lot of the things that I looked at and watched.
Yeah. I mean, the most credible source that I had, which was Alaska Paranormal Forum.
Nice.
That's the one where it said that it was pronounced Ircenrraat.
That's cool. I want to go to that forum.
But TikTok was saying Ircenrraat. So anyway, it's these mythical creatures that are human-like, but they are tiny. They're like, they're described as little people, or I saw in one place they're called monkey men. Ooh. But they're very human-like. They have kind of slit-like eyes. Some people say that their eyes are actually even vertical instead of horizontal. They're like pretty little. They're 3 to 4 feet tall. They wear like caribou skins. So they're pretty much dressed like in traditional ancient Yukon area type wear. Some people describe them as mischievous. Some people describe them as crafty. Some people describe them as scary. Some people describe them as helpful. So there's a whole range of the types of experiences that people report about them. They're said to sometimes throw rocks at humans while they're on trails. Sometimes people end up like feeling a rock hit in a certain spot, and then later they end up with a very specific ailment, like a medical condition in that exact spot, which is pretty fascinating.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes they offer aid to people in life-threatening situations. People have said that they found themselves in a dangerous situation where, their snow vehicle has broken down in the middle of the tundra, and they pass out from exhaustion trying to make it back to civilization, and then they credit the tiny people for carrying them back to where they're trying to.
So they sound very helpful.
Well, yeah, so that's a helpful story. The rock throwing is less helpful.
Also, the rock throwing, it could just be an excuse, and it's really children from the village bullying everyone.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah, probably.
Sorry.
You're like a tiny person, but it was magic, not a kid. Maybe they're throwing rocks at the place where they're like get this checked out.
You've got a tumor right here. Oh, shoot, not
Hey,
there.
that
But now you have
goiter-
a goose egg there.
That goiter really.
Okay, so they're said to live. Sometimes they say they live in mountains. Sometimes they are said to live in caves. Sometimes they're said to live in underground. Some people claim that they live in another dimension that they can move in and out of easily, like from our dimension and back into their own dimension.
Not the first like cryptid or like creature that they say is like interdimensional.
Yeah, I think that is an explanation that people kind of jump to that a lot, just to like,
Well, it's logical.
some of the ways that, like, things disappear. A lot of the
Yeah.
sightings that people claim to see are like out of the corner of their eye, or like they see something dart across the road that they're sure is a tiny person, but then the person
Right.
with like, no, that was a fox. So I mean, it's one of
like,
those things where you're
If there were
you're
tiny
often
people,
questioning yourself.
if there were tiny people, we'd be finding tiny poops.
You're right. Right. So they are said to hunt, fish, and gather, kind of like living like the old ways, like I already said. So there are a lot of stories that are passed down, like from village elders, and that's how a lot of the origin stories are. And then there are a lot of current stories. Like it's one of those things where people still are, coming forward with their own experiences. They have a reputation as being excellent craftsmen. So there have been stories of people finding like little artifacts that they think are from the little people. And then if they take their eyes off it even for a second, the artifact will be gone. So that's kind of a fascinating
They're
little
like,
thing, which
here it is. Never mind.
Or or like some idiot Ircenrraat left it. And everybody's like, Ircenrraat, go get it. To grab it. Another really cute / terrifying anecdote is that they are reported to sing while they work.
That would be very spooky.
Just like Snow White's dwarves
I
whistled.
was thinking of that. Yeah.
But never whistle in the
Yeah,
dark.
they whistled. They also sing hi ho.
Ooh.
Wait, those are both dwarfs, right? Hi ho and the whistle while you work.
Yeah. Hi
Okay,
ho,
yeah.
it's off to work we go. Well, okay. The dwarf sang hi ho. Snow White sang whistle while you work, but she sang it
right.
to the dwarves.
She's like, stop your singing. I don't want to hear any more hi ho.
Terrible.
Try whistling.
She's like, I'm not a hoe, okay? I'm like 14.
So yeah, the whistling and the craftsmanship, that kind of lines up with the other little people that show up in other cultures, like, dwarves and leprechauns.
duende.
And what's the name of the Mahunek or whatever, the Hawaiian little people?
Oh.
I know that there's some culture that has the duende. I think that might be like from the Philippines or something, or India, the duende. Or
Yeah, they show up in all kinds of lore. So one interesting story that I came across on Reddit, a guy said, I know of a DOT crew, like a Department of Transportation, in case you don't know what DOT is. I know of a DOT
How do you know?
that swears to God they were attacked by little people, like knocked in the head with rocks at a remote location in Alaska, north of Nome. They were surveying a potential rock quarry site they'd been warned was sacred. The DOT abandoned that site as a potential quarry. And this person also was told by Yupik fellows to leave the little people a cigarette if you find, especially if you take something in the tundra, if you find a knife, if you find something or even a rock, if you're inclined to pick something up and take it, leave an offering. So like little people are less likely to bother you if you leave something for them.
Taking all of our stuff.
Just like
Another Reddit user said, you're not supposed to talk about them. That's all she said.
And here we are.
Another story that I read on Reddit, I don't want to tell the whole story because I didn't really love it, but it claimed that the little people are cannibals and that he actually befriended them and gradually got to go stay with them in their underground lair and tasted human flesh. So I love that story. It went on and on.
It's more like some guy's fantasy.
Little did he know, if he had just had some cigarettes with him. This is why people should smoke.
Exactly. That's why I've been telling everybody.
Yeah.
Just
If you don't smoke, just keep them on you.
Yeah, just carry some cigarettes.
Because there might be some little people that want cigarettes.
It can get you in a sticky situation.
Exactly.
Kids. Children love cigarettes.
Listen to that, they do.
If some, like in my town, we call the little people that try to, jump you in an alley, little punks.
Yeah.
And you can buy those little punks off with cigarettes.
And liquor.
Okay, so one other fascinating thing about the little people is that they're said to be insanely strong. Like there are people that have claimed to have seen the little people lift an entire caribou. One little person lift an entire caribou over their head and run with it.
They're like ants.
And often hunters, yes, they are like ants. Often hunters have like, shot a caribou and then like, tried to make their way over to it. And then they'll go to the spot where they are sure that their dead caribou should be. And it's just gone.
It's gone.
Oh,
Just gone, but often with no blood, no footprints, like all traces gone. So
what's the story? Is it Gulliver's Travels?
Yeah.
Where he goes to the island of something or other and he gets tied down by a bunch of little people?
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, good comparison. The
I
Alaska
see.
Paranormal Forums had a few other stories, and that's akpn.freeforums.net. There was one Inupiaq man that said, they live in the old ways to this very day, dressed in caribou skins. They hunt with bow and arrow. They live underground and in caves all throughout this area. They possess superhuman qualities. And he's one of the ones that said that they would, lift a caribou over their head. They sneak around villages stealing food. When any hunter shoots and kills a caribou, it requires 2 adult men to lift that caribou to place a sled. It only takes one of the Inupiaq or Ennekins to pick one up and run with it over his head. How do you make sense of that? Bush pilots have reported seeing caribou moving quickly in a horizontal position. Figure out that one.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
But also there is something called Lilliputian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Lilliputian hallucinations. So, and that is a neurological phenomenon where people hallucinate things under certain conditions. Also, vitamin D deficiency can cause hallucinations, and that's one of the symptoms. So that's just another alternate explanation for some of these crazy things people are saying.
That so many people would have the same hallucination. Like that's the strange thing. It's like,
I wonder if it's such a common story that they're like, oh, it must
I
be
think
little
if
people.
the story's being told, I don't think it's odd to have the same hallucination, if you grow up with that story. But if it's a stranger that sees the same thing, I would also think that's odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
anyway, but that's all I have about the Ircenrraat or Urchinek or Enukins. Those are the 3 ways that I'm going to pronounce it in this telling.
That was great.
Well.
Oh, so there you go.
That was really cool. I just find it's just so fascinating that so many stories in different cultures that, like, now, of course, we live in a global economy where we share stories and, have the ability to do that. But so many stories include tiny people or tiny human-like people. Like, not just tribes or like indigenous groups from the Americas, but like all over Europe, Africa, India, like every continent has some sort of version of tiny magical creatures. It's kind of interesting.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes life more fun.
It does make life more fun. Okay. I want you. Okay. Imagine. Come on a journey with me.
Okay.
Imagine for a moment, you are a hunter and you live in a vast, cold, Arctic wilderness and you're hungry and your tribe is hungry. So you've been sent out for food. And in this Arctic wilderness, you have to be very quiet because there's very little prey and you don't want the prey to hear you coming. So you have to sneak up on it. So as you're hunting, all of a sudden you see in front of you, or let's say you feel something behind you. Let's do that. That's scarier. Suddenly you feel something behind you. You turn around. There's this creature. It is a large, black, dog-like animal, but it doesn't have any fur.
Ew.
It's just, its skin is black, it's slim, it's muscular, its skin looks
more handsome.
Oily,
more handsome. Oh, gross.
Oily and shiny. There is a tuft of fur on the end of its tail, tufts of fur on the tips of its ears, fur on its mouth, and fur on its paws. That's the only fur on this animal.
Is it standing on its legs or is it down on all fours?
It's going like this. At first it's down on all fours, and then it rears up like a horse. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think that it does both. I think it is both bipedal and quadrupedal and occasionally octopedal.
Oh,
meaning 8 legs on the ground. Its eyes glow red or white, depending on the version of the story you've heard.
Depending on its mood.
Some people say it's featureless, yet it has eyes. And you're filled with dread and despair when you see it. Often people that see this creature go into convulsions that don't stop until the creature leaves.
Whoa.
If they survive the convulsions.
Oh, crazy.
This creature is
Like
called,
a Dementor,
Yeah.
maybe the Dementor was inspired by this.
maybe.
This creature is called the Keelut in parts of Alaska or the Keekern in other parts of Alaska. So there's two tribes or two indigenous groups in Alaska that have this story, and probably even more, but the Inuit call it the Keelut and the Inuit call it the Keekern, and the Athabascan call it the Keelut.
Ooh.
Yes, that's correct. I was double checking. So this creature is multidimensional, just like Emily's creature, just like the little people of Alaska. I cannot remember what they were called. It was a complicated word.
It was.
Multidimensional. They're known to be seen both in the physical world and in the spirit world, just like Bigfoot.
Ooh.
And they're very scary looking. But worse than their looks are the way they make you feel. You just feel complete dread and despair, or you go into convulsions, or some people just get petrified with fear and are basically frozen, paralyzed with fear, literally paralyzed with fear. They say that the Keelut or the Keekern has magic superpowers, and if you make eye contact with it, it will steal your soul out of your body and leave your body an empty human husk.
No.
It also causes people to have violent outbursts, and the violence won't stop until the Keelut leaves.
Ooh.
It mostly appears in the most desolate and Arctic places, usually to people who have wandered off of the main trail or off of the beaten path, off of the road less traveled, let's say. No, off of the road more traveled. Road less. Wait, hold on. Off of the road.
This load has not been traveled.
Off of the road more traveled onto the road less traveled. And it's considered to be a malevolent creature. There are no stories that I know of the Keelut helping anybody.
Oh boy.
And it is also considered to be a harbinger of misfortune. If you see one, it's often a warning of bad things to come.
Oh boy.
So, however, the Keelut does have some weaknesses. First of all, it is scared of humans. So this is why it's interesting, because when you're a hunter, you're trying to be quiet to sneak up on your prey. But one way to keep yourself from seeing a Keelut is to make a lot of noise. If they hear humans coming, they will most likely leave. Usually their interactions with humans are when they are startled by humans, which they don't like. So that's when they want to steal your soul.
You know what? I don't like them either. So
Dramatic.
That works for Keeluts. That works for bears.
It does. Bears, beats,
Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
Galactica.
Thank you for helping me. I was like, bears, what's the next one? I know what's the name. Bears, beats, Battlestar Galactica. So,
Identity theft is not a joke.
so they are scared of humans. They're scared of loud noises. They do startle easily. And you don't want to startle a Keelut. They also do not like hearing their name spoken aloud. So unlike the name of the little people that Emily said, right, and wasn't it yours too? You can say Keelut and you can say Keekern. They don't like to hear it. They will run away from you. In fact, if you see one and you can like kind of say its name before it starts its magic powers on you, it's likely to turn away.
Does it have its own separate name? Like, or do they have individual names, or they're just all called Keelut?
Keelut is the
Are there any of them named Stan?
Yes, there's one named Stan. The Athabascan is Keelut. The Inuit call them Keekerns. And
Say Keelut or Keekern, you're not trying to find their own given name.
no, you're not. No, you're sort of like human, Keekern, that kind of thing.
Demon.
Human.
Demon.
So shamans, Keeluts are also, they're scared of humans, but they're more scared of shamans because shamans have the ability to, they have protective spells and protective amulets that will guard against the powers of the Keelut.
Nice.
So if you're a hunter, you can get an amulet from a shaman and go out and it will protect you from the Keelut. And
In that situation, why would you not just be a shaman?
Everybody should be a shaman.
well, someone has to be the hunter.
I guess you're right.
Wait, do people have to have different roles in society?
You know what we should do is we should all try being shamans and find out.
Okay.
but not a shaman because we will try being prophets,
Prophetess?
Which
witches,
is,
witches. We'll try being witches, and we'll see how it works. If there's
I
just
didn't mean everyone,
What
including
is
us. I just meant
English?
everybody in that area to keep themselves safe. I was not
oh.
trying to appropriate shamanism.
Hey, listen, no, I didn't think you were. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't appropriating shamanism. But I will say, yes, one group of people tried being shamans and they starved to death. That's not a true
Did
story. I made
they?
that up.
Oh.
It's a
You
cautionary tale
behold.
that I made up.
And the reason I made up this story is to
From all
keep
being
people from
shaman.
all being shamans. It's a warning.
They'd
It's a
be
warning
too
story.
powerful.
So in the second Jungle Book, I believe it's called by Rudyard Kipling. There's a story called the Queequern, but it's based on the Inuit tale of the Queequern,
Ooh.
where there is a boy that's part of a tribe, and he trains up his sled dogs for hunting. They're like hunting dogs and sled dogs. He trains them up really well, and he has one dog in particular that's like his favorite and that he worked really hard to train. They have a really hard winter, and his tribe is starving. So he and another boy take the dog team out to go hunt to try to find food. They can't find food anywhere. And the dogs are leading them towards food, but the dogs end up going mad with hunger and cold themselves. So his favorite dog, and it was named like Kokolamut or something like that, I don't remember, ran off, and one of the other dogs followed him, and they never found the dogs. Like they just like searched for them everywhere. So they figured that the dogs like went off and just probably froze to death and died of starvation. So the boys and the remainder of the dogs made it back to the tribe, and they were like, well, what are we going to do? And then they like prayed to the gods or something. They did something to try to initiate help or ask the shaman for help or something. I don't quite remember because I didn't read the story. I read a summary of the story. And that night, this magical creature called the Queequern appeared on the horizon, and it was a large black two-headed dog with 8 legs, like dog-like creature. And so the boys were like, well, let's follow it. That's probably going to lead us to food. So they followed this creature, and which did indeed lead them to where some seals were. But as they got closer to the creature, they realized it was actually the 2 dogs that had escaped, who were tied together by a harness. So it looked like a 2-headed dog
Oh my
with 8 legs, but
gosh.
it was actually the 2 dogs together. And the dogs had found some seals and had eaten, and then were fed. And the dogs were able to return to the tribe and then lead the boys to where the food was. And the boys were able to capture some seals and bring them back and save their whole tribe.
Yay.
So
So
that
it
is,
wasn't really a Keelut.
it was not a Keelut, but it was a story called
It resembled a Keelut.
Yeah. But there is a story I found by a woman named Rosemary, and I believe she was Inuit, but she might have been Athabascan. She just said she actually was vague in her. I found her story twice, once on Facebook and once on Reddit. And she was kind of vague. She was like, I don't really want to give away my exact tribe or our exact location, but this really happened in northern Alaska. And her story was, I'm going to tell you like a brief version of it. She was raised hearing about not just the Keelut, but a bunch of Alaskan cryptids. And she was taught to be really careful where they lived. It was very remote, very careful. Always have your senses about you. And so she was riding her bike home from a friend's house mid-December. So super, super cold. And they're in that 3-month blackout period where there's no sun in Alaska. So 24 hours a day, darkness, no sun at all. So she's dressed very warm. She's riding her bike home, and then suddenly she feels breath like on the back of her. So she kind of stops, and she kind of hears something kind of keeping pace with her while she's on her bike. So she stops pedaling, and she turns, and she sees a large black dog just approaching her. And it was a canine of some kind, but it didn't have any hair. Its skin looked like black metal under the flickering streetlight overhead.
Whoa.
I didn't get a full look at it though, because I immediately began kicking at it with the leg that wasn't pinned by its paws and teeth. Oh yeah, so as it she got off her bike, it grabbed her, it jumped on her and was on her legs.
no.
She was knocked to the floor. So she started kicking at it, and she kicked it twice in the head, and it whimpered and jumped back. She could feel blood going down her legs, and she ran home as quick as she could. And she had like 5 large scratches down her leg, like a big gash. And she told her grandpa about what she saw. And her grandpa, said, like, asked her to describe it. And then he showed her pictures, and she identified like what it was. And her grandpa said, well, that's a Keelut. My, best friend was killed by a Keelut when we were hunting 20 years ago in this same area. So that was basically the story. Pretty freaky.
Whoa.
It's such a harsh climate and harsh place to live, like the more remote areas of Alaska. Did you guys watch The True Detective with Jodie Foster?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was
the Alaska one.
I did not watch that
so
one.
good, but it does make you think, like, whether any of these stories are rooted in truth or not, they are definitely like passed down to people to keep you alive, right? Like, anyway, it's just fascinating. You should watch The True Detective.
I want
Nettie,
to. I would
love
to.
it.
It's good. It's
so
really,
good.
really good. It's dark.
I read The Great Alone, and I feel like that did a really good job depicting like the dangers of Alaska. Just like it would make sense why they'd make these stories to keep people like on well-worn trails that are safe, because you don't know when you're walking on a river.
Yeah.
And you can fall through and you're swept away. You'll never be found. Like
Never.
by the violent rivers that are under layers of ice that, you just don't know what's carving out underneath.
Yeah.
You. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. It's a very, very tough place to live. I have several clients who lived in Alaska. They loved Alaska. I actually had a client tell me, she's like, most people go visit Alaska in the summer. And she's like, really? My favorite time to visit is like February.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Is that during the dark period?
I think so. Yeah.
I've heard that the mosquitoes are awful in the summer in Alaska because there's so much moisture.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to talk to somebody that's lived in Texas and Alaska before I form my true opinion on their
Diane.
problem.
I can send you the YouTube video, Diane, who survived the Kushtaka. She's from Texas.
Oh my goodness. Yes, let's find out. Let's ask Diane. Let's find Diane. Let's find out if the mosquitoes are bigger. I have a feeling they're bigger in Alaska.
Diane didn't mention the mosquito situation.
Hey, Diane, if you are listening, could you reach out?
Thank you, Diane, for your story about the Kushtaka. But we have a question about a different Alaskan cryptid.
The mosquito.
Mosquitoes are the deadliest
thing on our planet.
Creature.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I've seen that Instagram reel a couple of times.
You sent it.
And then
I sent it.
Oh, was it Haley?
I think I sent it and then you sent it, kind of like sometimes, we all do.
Oh, I think I did do that actually.
And then Oliver wanted to watch it, and then now he keeps asking me to play that song that's in Russian or Bulgarian or whatever. That's what he calls it. Song that's in Russian or Bulgarian or whatever.
Or whatever.
I have to find that song, and then we have to listen to that. It's super slowed down in the Instagram song. It's a much more upbeat.
Oh.
Kind of, like dark techno type.
Speaking of Russian songs, I love the one of what is it? It's the Rasputin.
Oh, Boney M?
Yeah, Boney M.
You guys, that's 2 times in a row that we've talked about Boney M on our podcast. Didn't we talk about Boney M last week?
Did we?
Did I not mention to you guys that the guy that started Boney M was the same guy that started Milli Vanilli, and he was the singer behind lip syncers in both groups?
You
like
did tell us. I don't remember if it was on a podcast or not.
Or yes. No,
you
or
did.
yes.
You
either did or didn't.
At least you told me.
If I didn't tell both of you, I am sorry. You
might have mentioned it on the podcast. I might have been looking at deer.
Guys, it wasn't even a controversy when it was revealed that he was the voice behind the Boney M people. People just didn't really care about it then. But when it came out in the 90s with Milli Vanilli, it was like a huge problem. But also, like, if you watch, are you sure I haven't said this before? If you watch
Say it again.
The Boney M guy, like spinning and doing splits and then singing into the microphone, you've got to know that he is for sure not singing himself. Like, that would be such an athletic feat. He couldn't do it.
No way.
He's doing high kicks, turning jump splits, jumping back up, spinning around. It's like
so athleticism.
He's not a Broadway star. He's not Beyonce.
You know what? Maybe he is.
Who knows? Maybe Beyonce lip syncing. Just kidding.
Do you think that the reason why people were so upset about Milli Vanilli is that they were so handsome? And it just seemed like
they had it all.
I mean, they were great singers. They just had that like sultry look at the camera, and there were two of them.
Two of them.
Maybe I feel like Boney M would have gotten a little more flack if they had like won a Grammy and then tried to perform at the Grammys and then it was revealed due to a malfunction.
Oh, is that what
You
happened?
know, I feel like,
Oh.
isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Am I wrong? Am I misremembering events? I thought
No,
that was
I
what
was
happened.
really, really young, and you were even younger.
Hey, listeners,
I was
right?
too young.
thespookydarlings@gmail.com. Email us. Tell us what we're remembering correctly, incorrectly.
Yes. If you're a Milli Vanilli or a Boney M aficionado and you know the true facts, let us know.
Because we will not Google it.
Or if you know anything about Keeluts or Kushtaka
Or
Email us your stories.
internet.
or
I had a
Kikir.
really hard time finding any stories about Kushtaka, probably because people mostly die or become a Kushtaka.
Well, and that's what they say is that people don't survive. Most people don't survive an attack from a Keelut,
Yeah.
but those that do usually go mad. But this girl said,
Ooh.
as far as I know, I never went mad.
Nice. Keeping it together.
But her grandpa's friend that got attacked
Died.
died. Yeah.
I knew that because you just told me a few minutes
Yes,
ago.
and the grandfather carried his friend's body for 2 days because they were like out in the Alaskan wilderness when it happened, and he carried his friend's body for 2 days after the
Oh my
attack back to his truck.
gosh.
You know,
Great
that's
as
when
small
you would
body.
really hope that one of the little people would pop out and show up.
Yeah,
Carry you and your friends.
would have been helpful.
Yeah.
And the whole
And
2
you know what
days he
song
was
they would
in
sing while they
track.
worked? They'd be like, he ain't heavy in their tiny little voice. He's my brother.
Yes.
My
Writes that
best
song.
tiny
What do we
speed up
think?
chipmunk impersonation.
Oh.
I didn't quite nail it.
Maybe faster. Try it again.
No. I lost my confidence.
She will not.
Try it while dancing.
I'm gonna be doing it.
Well, this was fun picking
Yeah.
Alaska cryptids.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, good job.
These
Good
quick
job,
little
Alaska,
stories.
for having such creepy cryptids.
Yeah.
Arizona will be next since we're going in alphabetical
the
order.
Desert. Arizona cryptids. Should we sign this episode out and then we
Let's do
can
it. You wanna look it up and we'll
Yeah, you sign us out.
figure-
Emily,
Oh,
you
sign
wanna-
this episode out. I thought you meant like sign us up for our new cryptids.
Oh.
Yeah, Emily, do you want to do our sign off?
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. This is our podcast. See ya.
email us at thespookydarlings@gmail.com for any questions, comments, stories of your own. We want to hear them. And rate and review us 5 stars. We love 5 stars. Just go to the review page there right now. You can type out something that you like about us and just tap that 5 star. Thank you. We love it.
If you love 5 stars so much, why don't you marry it, Haley?
Thank you. Goodbye.
My sign off was way more concise. I see you did it how you wanted to do it.
Thank you for listening. Once again, we are the Spooky Darlings. Our email is thespookydarlings@gmail.com, and you can find us on Instagram at the Spooky Darlings Podcast. Like Haley said, we do love a 5-star rating, and we would love to read your reviews. Tune in next Tuesday when Haley will tell us the story of a man who survives being lost at sea. This is a good one. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for some sister banter. Thanks again. 5 stars.
Guys, this one has the chupacabra and
Oh.
skinwalkers.
Oh,
And what else? We need a third.
Mogollon monster.
Okay, who wants what?
There's also the Olitiao.
Oh, there are so many in Arizona. There's that crazy haunted mountain range in Arizona
Yeah.
that like you're not supposed to go to alone. Don't
there's
do
an Arizona Bigfoot called the Mogollon.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
Haley just said the Mogollon. Skinwalkers.
There's
Chupacabra.
also something that lives in the lava tubes of Humphreys Peak called the Olitiao.
All right.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, there's also the Chupacabra.
Okay. I'm torn between the chupacabra and skinwalkers. Nettie, you have been the assigner. You've done a good job.
You're a Chupacabra.
Assign.
Guys, La Llorona.
There.
What do you want to do, Amy? You pick.
Oh, I don't really care. The Jersey Devil's cousin, maybe?
This one sounds like it's going to be pretty meaty with Chupacabra,
Skinwalkers.
Magolan, Skinwalker,
Thunderbirds.
Buttonerd birds.
You know what? I think I've heard
Thunderbirds.
of Thunderbirds. They're like
They're
like pterodactyls that are still around.
So not Buttonerd birds.
No.
I call Buttonerd birds.
Yes.
I've heard about the Thunderbirds too. Yeah.
So there's Aswang, there's Bobo, there's Chupacabra, there's Jackalope, there's the Mogollon monster, the Olympian, which looks like a bat. The rake. Oh, the rake sounds freaky.
Do you want to do the rake?
I don't know. The Reptoid. He seems super chill.
And look what I got. I've had this for like a long time. Emily, I have this book.
Oh,
Yeah.
a field guide. Yes.
But the mine wasn't in it, the one for Alaska.
I really want you to go on a hike with this somewhere with lots of people, but carry it out like this and have a pair of binoculars.
Oh my gosh, you guys, and I should have talked about this, but there was a cryptozoologist in the little YouTube doc I watched, like mini doc. And he was hilarious. He's like, if I was a Kushtaka, I'd be hiding out in those trees up there because we have this wall of protection and I gotta get up there. I gotta get up there and see what's there. And like he had like this this like crazy looking gun in a holster, like strapped across his chest with bullets. And he's like, these creatures are dangerous. He was so serious.
I want to watch that. I would love to watch that. That's a great book.
Yeah, the Kushtaka wasn't in here though.
Well, it was in my book.
Fascinating.
Chupacabra isn't in here. I'm gonna be furious.
It's in there.
I just don't know which cryptids to choose, but I just sent you an infographic with the main cryptids of Arizona.
Oh, thank you to our cellular
It
phones.
gives you a bit of a vibe check about each one.
Ooh.
Ma-ah. Did you see how the cat turns and looks at me? Because that means come here in cat language. I saw it on Instagram.
Why do you have a cat in your house?
It's not in my house. It's outside.
Oh,
Good
Oh,
dog.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Ma-ah. Oh, it didn't look that time. It's ignoring me now. Thank you.
I enjoy this. I love
Yeah.
doing this with my sisters.
me too. I feel like this morning I felt like I wasn't really prepared with my notes, and then I kept getting like sucked into random activities that I did not need to actually be doing. I know that's my ADHD.
Like, are you kidding me? Of all the mornings I have to sort my silverware drawer, it's today? Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have to organize my cups by rainbow order. Of all mornings.
By rainbow order.
Color coded, I guess is what I meant to say.
No, I like rainbow order. I like rainbow order.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
5 stars. Before we disappear into the shadows, don't forget, we're still sending out vinyl stickers. Leave us a rating and review and email us proof to thespookydarlings@gmail.com, along with your mailing address, and we'll send you some spooky snail mail while supplies last. And if your heart is still mourning that tote bag, may we gently tempt your way toward our merch store at thespookydarlings.printful.me. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Thanks for listening. And as always, stay spooky.